To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text. The long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile.
Forever!
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever.
This Halloween, ghoul all out with Instacart. Whether you're hunting for the perfect costume, eyeing that giant bag of candy, or casting spells with eerie decor, we've got it all in one place. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time, minimum $10 per order, service fees, other fees, and additional terms apply. Instacart, bringing the store to your door this Halloween.
Hello, I'm Josh Hallam. Welcome back to another Just Films and That new release review. Hope you're well and thank you very much for tuning in. This time around, I'm going to be talking about Joker, Folie, Deux, which is of course a sequel to 2019's Joker, and I hope I'm saying that right, not the word Joker, the other bit. I will try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, but I might touch on things featured in the promo material and trailers and things like that. So if you don't want to know anything at all, give this a listen after you've seen it. Apologies as well, my voice isn't as good as I'd like it to be. I've just had a little bit of a sort of vocal cord issue here, so hopefully it's not too distracting. In terms of the plot then, we find Arthur Fleck, aka Joker, 2 years on from the first film. He's awaiting trial for his crimes and has developed somewhat of a cult following amongst the different disenfranchised of Gotham. Whilst in Arkham Asylum, he meets Harley and Quinzel, who you'll know as Harley Quinn from the comics or some of the other films, but goes by Lee in this, because, well, why not? And they form an instant connection, which leads to a chaotic and destructive and, well, musical road, shall we say. As ever, I'm going to take a look at this in the same sort of structure as the pod episodes in terms of what liked, dislike, and all that sort of stuff. So let's get stuck in. I will preface this with this. I'm not a huge fan of this interpretation of the character. I'm a huge fan of the Joker character in general, and the strength of it for me is in the mystique around him and the dichotomy he has with Batman. So to give him a name and a background and all that, and to take Batman out of it, I think I said it at the same time when the original came out, it's not really for me. However, you know, this is an Elseworlds offshoot of the newer DC films and universe, so I appreciate that this is just, you know, it's a take. It perhaps is just not the take because we got Barry Keoghan and God knows what else they're going to do. But even with that in mind, I'll be honest, guys, I wasn't a fan of this. You know, we're all about balance. So we're all about balance here at Just Films and That. So in terms of like, then, you know, let's go into it. It's not without positive things. It's got, you know, got some good things in it. And I didn't dislike it, I don't think, as much as some of the critics. I mean, if you listen to some of the online discourse, you think this is like akin to some sort of war crime. It's not. I think they've taken a big swing, and for me, they've missed a bit. But anyway, I think if you like the first one, there's probably elements of this that you'll enjoy. It's got some good visual ideas in terms of playing around with colourful concepts like animation, some really good hypnotic feeling set pieces demonstrating Joker and Lee's shared fantasies. Good use of lighting and colour too, so I did quite enjoy some of those elements and the elements of showing the Joker and Lee's relationship in terms of it's a little bit of a different take on that relationship. They flipped it on its head a little bit from the comics, so you've almost got Joker coming under her spell and her being in control rather than vice versa. Again, like I said earlier, I'm not a fan of this take, but I do appreciate them having a go and playing around with it, even if it's against that purist in me. The performances are still really good, whilst I think Joaquin Phoenix isn't used to his full potential in this because of some stylistic choices I'll come back to. He's still pretty captivating and watchable, and he does a really good job of showing a distinctive split between this idea of Arthur and Joker almost being different sides of the same coin in the same man type of thing. And I know, listen, weight loss for all has been done to death, but fair play to him on the weight loss again, because he looks really great as the character, so fair enough to him, because that cannot have been easy. Lady Gaga is excellent in this too. She creates a really different take on Harley Quinn from those that we've seen before, much more confident, much more dominating, and obviously she absolutely excels and smashes it in the musical scenes too. I also want to say as well, I think that the casting of Harry Lorty as Harvey Dent is absolutely spot on. In my mind, he looks and sounds almost exactly like he does in the comics, like the Long Halloween before he becomes Two-Face, spoilers. And I think they nailed this idea that he's a bit of a boy wonder, he's a bit of a serial achiever by his mid-20s. I mean, Harry Lorty's I think he's about 27 or something like that. So the fact that he's got to this position, he just does a really good job of showing someone wise and experienced beyond their years. And that's pretty much it in terms of the positives, I'm afraid. In terms of dislikes then, unfortunately there are a fair few here, and I'll start with the fact that they've made the decision to go bold with this and make it a musical. And I understand that is a big idea, it's a big take, it's a big swing, like I said earlier, but that in itself causes a few issues. Not that the idea itself I dislike, it's the execution of the idea. So firstly, they don't commit enough to it. So it's not fully musical, but they have musical numbers in it. But it's primarily focused on two characters, obviously Joker and Lee, and no other characters really have anything to do beyond the odd chorus bit and things like that. So you're sort of left with a kind of dark version of La La Land, when I think what they should have done is fully let into the mania, fully let into this idea of escaping into musical fantasy. And because I just can't see where they've been given this massive budget. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a massive increase on the first one. And I just don't see where that money's gone, to be honest with you. Okay, secondly, it's a jukebox musical. So if you don't know what that is, it's famous songs used again. So something, I guess, a little bit like Mamma Mia or something like that. But the song choices in this are all really quite ballad heavy, and I think a lot of that goes a long way. I think they needed to vary up the musical choices somewhat. So the one musical number I did really enjoy is one that's a little bit more upbeat than the others. And that brought in some elements of things like Joker doing a bit of dancing and things like that. So other than that, it's a lot of Lady Gaga sort of singing quite softly and building. And in itself is a bit of a weird choice because we know what an amazing voice she has, and she doesn't even really get that much chance to absolutely blast things out. She does a lot of almost whisper singing. And finally as well, again, I'm sure he doesn't care what I think, but Joaquin Phoenix does not have a strong singing voice. So the fact that they've decided to make it a musical, unfortunately, highlights a bit of a weakness in him as a performer, and I think that takes away from his strength, which is acting. He gives a really good performance in the first one, and when he's acting in this, he gives a lot of really good performance pieces and things like that. But it's just so distracting, the fact that he can't sing. Otherwise, as well, I think generally speaking, I think it loses what I think is good about the first one. I remember thinking the first one was a sort of okay film with an amazing performance that a film that I never really wanted to watch again, but I do remember his performance was really, really good. Now, I know, listen, these are different films, so I don't want to focus on it too much, but what I mean is it does try to use this idea of the fact that since the first one, he's become a lightning rod for the disenfranchised. However, it's only set in a few locations with real focus on Joker and Lee, so we don't actually see that much of Gotham and why people may gravitate towards him. Whereas in the first one, I thought they did a really good job of showing what an absolute state Gotham City's got itself into, with people falling into poverty and things like that. So I know a lot of people are saying that about the first one, but I do think that is what it is for me. Overall, I think, to me, unfortunately, it reeks to me that off the back of the first one, it's made £1 billion, the first one, and then they've obviously gone, well, obviously what they did was right, so give them more freedom, give them more money. And I think they've indulged a little bit and tried to do something a bit different, which has come off, for me, has been a little bit pretentious and robbing the audience of the main strength of the first one, which is the power of Joaquin Phoenix's performance as a man, falling more and more into a madness side of his own personality, whilst at the same time, this film does one of the worst crimes in cinema, which is, it's just really dull and it's boring. And yeah, I'll say it, it's too long. It's 2 hours 20 or something like that. But, anyway, that's just my opinion. So if you're interested, get out there and give it a watch and make up your own mind. Listen, thank you very much for listening. I do really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye from me. Cheerio.
To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa, easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.
If there's one thing that my family and friends know me for, it's being an amazing gift giver. I owe it all to Celebrations Passport from 1-800-Flowers.com, my one-stop shopping site that has amazing gifts for every occasion. With Celebrations Passport, I get free shipping on thousands of amazing gifts. And the more gifts I give, the more perks and rewards I earn. To learn more and take your gift giving to the next level, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST.
Tall Oaks is an award-winning assisted living community serving seniors for over 35 years in the heart of Reston. Our residents, like Paul, love the active lifestyle.
Sitting around out front, talking with people, doing the things that I would do if I were alone. As sort of a fulfillment of my life.
Come experience Tall Oaks for yourself. Visit talloaksal.com or call 703-834-9800 to schedule a personal tour.